Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Today, as you could probably see from the thumbnail and the description, we're going to be canning some chicken here. I want to show you guys how to do it. Keep looking at the wrong side. Okay. Anyway, we got our stuff ready. Please excuse the mess. Those of you following my channel, this is all my stuff from doing the 7-day bug out bag food challenge here. So we got our stuff ready. A lot of people like to warm up the lids, so we got the lids warming there. We've got our canner with water in it. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But as far as canning meat, you got a pressure can, and it's pretty easy actually. There's not a whole lot to it. You don't have to be a chef or anything like that. Just follow some simple instructions and not too bad. So let's get down here. Set you guys down where you can see. Yeah, not bad. Okay, first up, we're just going to cut up some, got the boneless, skinless chicken breast, and just chunks, guys. This is all going to fall apart anyway. Okay, not any big deal. If you want to trim off some of the fat, you can do that. With the boneless, skinless, I don't worry about it too much. And we're going to be doing some pint jars today. So pretty much these are the wide mouth pint jars I recommend everybody. Take a chicken, start shoving it in. Okay, so this is a raw pack. This is not a hot pack. And we got chicken in there. Scooshing down a little bit. You're going to want to leave a little bit of head space. You see where that rim is? That's pretty much how I tell where to go to. It'll go right to there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause, chop the rest of this up, and come back. Alright, and we're back. Okay, we got 6 pints here. Wasn't sure how many. I had a couple more standing by. What you want to try to do, try to get the air out of there. I've heard that the air will make the whole thing explode. I haven't had that, but better safe than sorry. Try to get these out here. A lot of people, I'll take a lot of times take a butter knife and put down in there. These are pretty good. Okay, let me wash off my hands. All right. Washed off the hands, and this step's optional. I always do it, but a little bit of salt, non-iodized, and we're going to pour just a little bit in the top. And you don't need to do this. This is not going to preserve it more or anything, just for flavoring. Okay. So, as you can see, just a little bit of salt in there. Okay, so now, take a paper towel, dampen it. We're going to wipe off all the tops here. You have anything on there, any little pieces of chicken or salt, and you're not going to get a good seal. Wipe all that off. I know some people use vinegar on a piece of paper towel. I haven't had any issues with just this. We are pressure canning. These are clean jars, but since we are pressure canning, we don't have to worry about sterilizing the jar. So that's going to happen in there. If you're doing any sort of the hot water bath, if you're doing jellies, jams, tomatoes, things like that, anything that you can use the hot water bath method, you're going to want to sterilize the jars as well. So we got our jars, we get our little lids out, a little lid lifter here, warming the lids up, from what I understand, helps to soften up the rim there. You guys see the orange around? That will actually compress in there, and that's what's going to give you your seal. take our bands and just like that. Not over tighten it, okay? Because you want, there you go, you want a little bit of room because that air is going to escape out of there. And that's what's going to give you your vacuum, going to give you your seal. Okay. Okay, so our chicken is in the jars. We need to get the jars into the canner now. With your canner, make sure it's cleaned out. And make sure there's going to be a little vent hole. Okay, right here, and these are also little vent holes. Make sure all those are free. These are little safety devices here. If these holes are clogged and you start canning, you just built a bomb. So we don't want that. So make sure that hole's clear. It is, so we're going to set it over here. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Put our chicken in. And you'll have to read your canner's description, but typically you want a couple inches of water in the bottom. That's what we got. It is very important not to let your canner run dry. It will warp your canner. So, no heat on here yet. We got the jars, we got the water in. We're going to put on our lid. Come on, work with me. There we go. On. Now we're going to crank the heat on. And what we're going to do, this is a weighted model. You guys can kind of see. Let me bring you closer. Sorry about that. Zoom. There we go. This model uses little weighted gauges. Okay. See on here. Okay. On the bottom it says 15 pounds. Don't know if you see it. At my elevation, that's what I need here. So what we're going to do, we've got that ready to go. We're going to let the temperature in there come up. It's going to start boiling. What happens when things boil? It's going to generate steam. You're going to see steam shooting out of here in a little bit. Once you see that, you want to set your timer for 10 minutes. What that's doing, that's getting all of the air out of here so that it's nothing but steam. So you'll let that vent for 10 minutes, and then you'll put on your gauge, and you're going to set another timer after that, and we'll do that when we get there. So stand by. Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear, but she's getting ready. You saw just a little spurt, so it's going to be steaming here in just a minute, but not quite yet. It does take some time. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see there. See the steam coming out? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes. Timer 10 minutes. We're going to let that vent. And then we'll come back. Alright, it has been 10 minutes, and as you guys can see now, maybe, yeah, she is kicking out through there. So I feel pretty confident that all the air is out. Now here's the tricky part. I got to put this weight on there. Don't use your bare hands. That would be silly. Alright, you can see right here, sorry, right here, that little button's up now. That's our lock. It's one of the safety features. So we're going to go ahead and get the weight on here. Okay. Now, that weight is also called a jiggler. Okay, once it's doing that on its own regularly, we're going to set the timer for, I believe, 75 minutes. I'll have to check, don't quote me, but I think the pints are 75 minutes at my altitude. So I will come back when it's jiggling good, and I'll show you guys. Alright, we got some jiggling going on here. So, now we got to set our timer. I did check it out. It's 75 minutes. What is it? 15, yeah. So we've got it set for 75 minutes. And when the timer goes off, we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Alright. The timer is just about to go off. You can see it's still cranking here. Oh, that's better. 2, 1. Alright. Timer off. Heat off. Now, you do not want to pull that off. You do not want to try to open this. Okay? We turned our heat off, and we are just going to let it cool down on its own. Okay? If you try to open that right now, bad things will happen. Our little lock, okay, see that button it's up? Once that has gone down on its own, then it is safe to open that up, and we will come back when we're at that point. So, alright, stay tuned, guys. Alright, well, as you all can see, the little safety button went down. Not hearing anything come out. Take this off. I'm going to set you all down here. You can see we got pressure can chicken. Oop, already heard one of the lids pop. See, there was no liquid in there before we started. It was just meat and a little bit of salt, right? But it's made its own broth. Another one just sealed. And you can see it's still kind of cooking a little bit. So you're going to put them on the counter on some sort of towel or cloth or something. These have to cool down slowly. You don't want to have it, yeah, this one you can see real good, still cranking. You don't want to let it cool down too quick or your glass will break. If you guys are hearing those pops, that's from the can sealing. And if you're hearing something that sounds like a dog lapping water, that's because there's a dog lapping water. Alright guys, there you go. We've got about, what was it, over 5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. About $11. And if you were to buy canned chicken at the store, I think I've seen it $2 for 12 ounces or something like that. Well, these are pints. These are 16 ounce. So, yeah, you can save a little bucks after you get the cans, or after you get the jars, rather. All you need to worry about is the lids after that. The bands are reusable, and so are the the jars. So, there you have it, guys. Canned chicken.